Hi, my name is Arlie Jonathan, and so many times when I tell people testimony of the things that the Lord has done in my life, I tell clients from the kitchen business, I tell friends and family and people I meet, and they all say to me, "You should write that down. You need to write a book." Well, I actually tried to do that, and I'm just not good at it. So what I thought I would do instead is just to do a couple video series, a little bit, just to tell you a few things about what the Lord has done in my life. And just like anything, you really should start at the beginning. One of our sisters in our church, Sister Shirley, who we all love dearly, she always tells us, think back in your past, because there's usually a time when you were younger that you cried out to the Lord, or you touched him in some way, or he touched you, or something happened. And of course, I did that a long time ago. And, for those of you who don't know me, I grew up on a farm. And I grew up with my stepfather, John, and my mom, and my older brother, my two older sisters. And we were a family that worked on the farm. And that's all I knew growing up. We worked very hard. I learned a lot of things. And sometimes it was difficult. But there's not a single day that I would trade from that upbringing. Not a single moment. And when I was growing up, I don't remember going to church a lot. I remember going a few times. I'm not sure how many times. But I did know a little bit about the Lord Jesus. I knew about the Christmas story, and I knew about Easter, about the resurrection. I knew that Jesus was born to a virgin, and he was the baby in the manger at Christmas time, and that Christmas was his birthday. I knew a couple of songs, just a few. And I also knew that Jesus loved the little children. That's pretty much what I knew about Jesus when I was growing up. I didn't have a prayer life. I didn't read the Bible. And I really didn't go to church on a regular basis. So anyway, there was a time for me. And I remember this time, the first time I prayed, and I got an answer. And I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 or 9 years old. We were working out on the farm. Our farm was a turf farm. So in those days, we had to roll the sod on our hands and knees. And we were all out there doing it. And this might have been one of our last harvests or something. And it was raining. And that rain turned to ice rain. And I remember being out in the field, and my hands, they were frozen with mud, like a claw, both hands. And I was so cold. I was so wet. I was so tired. I looked up into the sky, and I started to cry. And then as I cried, my very tears froze to my muddy little face. And I said, "Jesus, how can this be? You've got to get me out of here. I'm suffering, and I need you to take me away from this place. I don't want to do this anymore." And he answered that prayer. He said, "If I take you away, you're going to be without your family. Now, would you want that?" And I looked around, and nobody else was crying. Nobody else was crying out and wanting to get out of there. It wasn't comfortable, but everybody was working, and we were all together. And I don't know of any 8-year-old little girl that would want to be without her family. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to do this." And he gave me a peace at that moment that one day, the day would come that I would be off that farm. But it just wasn't that day. And the thing I learned is, even if your prayer is answered and the answer is no, that's okay, because he answers prayer. And he has a timing for everything. And as I grew up, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of things. I made a huge amount of mistakes. I got myself into things I wish I wouldn't have, which hurt me. I hurt me more than anyone hurt me. And then he began to draw me when I was about 20. But that is another little section. So I'll just leave that with you today. If you pray and the answer is no, you need to rejoice because he's the one who answers prayer. See you next time.